They have all these copies of these games in the copyright office. Is that what we're looking at? It's like Game Informer shelves. On that first story. Risk of Rain. Did they send them that many copies of each one? Like 4 to 5? Did they have to buy them?
It's the only way to refuse them is when you have to buy them yourself.
Remote access to out-of-print games. Maybe it's the remote access. Hey, I got a Go Live notification. It's been a while. Brand's audio is to be determined.
To be determined?
To be determined. TBDs.
To be determined.
No Renee yet on YouTube's. ¿Dónde está Renee? Renee usually chimes in by now. Or there's Weesh when we're not saying anything. It's like, well, this is fun.
It's definitely a Boosh moment.
Weesh. The Boosh.
Is the chat working?
I mean, it seemed like the notifications worked, so
maybe everybody's busy.
I was just checking the chat since I did I had to re-authenticate that stuff. I want to make sure something went out there. Yep, Brant did the same. Nope, Renee's on YouTube. We can start. Oh, my bad, Renee. I texted Renee like he was on the road. Renee, where are you? You still the remote, Renee? Would Renee like to have remote access to out-of-print video games? Find out later. Be a friend of the show, Renee. Everybody seems sleepy. Should we just turn this into a Warzone stream? Thank you for coming. We're gonna Warzone.
That's the plan, man. I'm always sleeping.
I just turned my computer and the camera around. It's facing the TV.
I'll just fire it up right here and just start sending you invites.
I won't put that past you.
It can be done.
Remotely. Renee sent me something regarding Silent Hill.
The hills are alive with the sound of silence.
Renee, I'm gonna have to watch this in a little while.
No, stop what you're doing. Do it now.
Do it now.
Pause the stream. Renee means business. What the fuck are you doing?
Ooh.
Hey.
Limited warranty.
Hey.
Somebody regarding the Wii U port said, pack it up. The same thing you put in the news, Brand. Pack it up. That's just the subreddit. The post.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the post is just pack it up.
I figured it was a matter of time before people started saying it. I mean, honestly, with that release, it's like, what? There's 2 more games technically.
Sold this.
Yeah. Brent's favorite color splash from the Paper Mario series.
They gonna leave that on there to die?
They left sticker
sticker star
on the 3DS to die. So.
But didn't you have to like stamp the things with the 3DS? Didn't you have to like?
I have no idea. I didn't get far in the game.
I didn't either. It was garbage.
I was like, ooh, why is this play like a Mario game with level select. It's not an RPG.
I didn't like using
And
the
really-
stickers for the moves. I was like, okay, I'm out of these stickers. This sucks balls. How do I get more?
Aside from the obvious HD collections off of there, and Nintendo Land,
Brent,
what really
Nintendo
else?
Land's never gonna take off, man.
Nintendo Land. Stop trying to make Nintendo Land happen.
Nintendo Land thing. Yeah, stop.
Listen, guys, you don't understand. The rest of you get Wiimotes and I use the pad. And then we pick another game and somebody else gets the pad and I use the mote.
Don't understand. It's
Yeah.
so great.
That's all right. We
And we
switched
use
our
our
allegiance.
knees.
No,
We use our
it's
knees.
Whatever's in my. It's whatever's on sale at the time. I think where did I acquire this? Like I think Publix had a buy two get one of these. So
I like
it's
the
like
variety.
$40.
Yeah. Kroger was buy two get two, and I was like, I don't want the same old shit. I want to try this wild cherry.
I don't have brand loyalty, so.
Me neither. I like what's on sale typically. All right, you guys ready to rock? We got 8 people here with us.
If RC Cola was on sale, I would proceed to buy Coca-Cola. So it just all depends on the situation.
If RC Cola was on sale, you would proceed to buy Coca-Cola.
Yes.
You're skipping RC Cola.
I'm skipping RC Cola.
You don't like RC Cola at all?
Skipping?
What am I, 12?
You're skipping
10 years
RC?
old? That's like the thing we got when I was 10.
It's not a child's beverage.
It's the last time I had it.
It's the last time I had it. You need to reacquaint yourself with RC Cola.
I'm
Absolutely
feeling
not.
some
Is there
flaw in the
Is
logic.
there RC Cola Zero? That's the only way that would happen. So
I think there is.
I don't know if there. I don't know.
we all don't know because nobody ever buys RC Cola. So
I had a teacher that had a thing for RC Colas and moon pies. Is that like a common? Okay.
that is a basis for
My
like
father.
50% of
Okay, there you go.
Southern movies made in the 90s. So
RC Cola zero sugar. It exists, SR. We should get some.
what does it look like?
In Philippines, they call it RC Cola free. It looks good.
Is it free?
No, it's just free of sugar.
Ah.
It's free of me.
RC Cola.
Say RC Cola. I'm looking.
And a
This
moon
is
pie.
stupid.
That's the third result. Where did that come from?
It's like a movie thing.
Okay. RC Cola and moon pies are a classic Southern match. This classic Southern dynamic duo pairing has been around since the Great Depression.
That's making
say
me
there-
depressed.
There was a place around the corner from me before they sold off to somebody else. They used to sell RC Cola, and then they had moon pies on the
Man,
counter.
I'd eat the fuck out of a moon pie
It's a
every day if I
local-
could.
Local eatery.
I mean, I partake in the moon pie. It's the marshmallow-based chocolate thing.
Mm-hmm. There's banana ones too.
Yeah.
I like the banana moon pies.
Yeah, but say there's a couple different varieties
it's
now.
Chocolate one.
It's not just chocolate.
RC Cola,
Is
no
chocolate
sugar.
the original moon pie flavor?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a whole Reddit thread about is there a diet or is there RC Cola?
Can I get a diet RC Cola?
4 months ago, it's like there is a diet RC, but I've never seen it in the cans. I've only ever seen it in fountains at a local sub sandwich shop
Fountains?
where I
I've
live.
never seen RC Cola in a fountain.
On tap.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I've seen it in cans, but I couldn't tell you the last time that was, possibly years ago.
Cans and bottles?
Diet RC exists. RC Zero Sugar will be coming in the near future. Apparently, that's a overseas thing. It's RC Zero Sugar.
Or it must be an old article.
No, it says 4 months ago.
Oh.
Was that old? Literally, when I looked at RC Zero is telling me that receipt you're accessing this in the United States because it says RC Cola International. That's the only one I can find for it.
Oh, international. I see that. RC Cola No Sugar is the sugar-free version of the original RC Cola. Known for its crisp and refreshing taste, it provides a guilt-free alternative to those who love cola.
I over they said they make KT says they make moon pie alcohol as well. So
Oh yeah.
Really?
I forgot about that.
What's that like?
I don't know.
Brent, you've never
I've seen it,
partaken in
though.
this?
I'm very intrigued that RC Cola has 5 stars on Walmart.com.
On Walmart? Probably
Yeah.
also 5 stars on PigglyWiggly.com.
It's $27.65 out of stock
$27.65 for
for a 12
some
pack.
third-party thing.
I'm looking.
There's RC Cola at
Decom
Target
information.
also. Is RC Cola still available? Oh, this might be KT's comment. The RC Cola Crown Royal. Crown Royal Cola. Now I just want a fucking moon pie. Hey, Jim Henson made a Royal Crown RC Cola. Is RC and RC Cola Royal Crown Cola?
What? I don't know. It's
yes,
weird.
it is. That's crazy. Did y'all ever knew it stood for
Our-
Royal Crown?
No.
Interesting.
Not to be confused with Crown Royal.
Holy shit! I'm on the international site. They got something called Mighty Rain. Have you tried that?
Mighty
I've never
Rain?
heard of Mighty Rain.
A product of RC.
Is that like Mountain Dew?
Is it like Purple Rain?
Mighty Rain, man.
Mighty Rain.
It looks like Mountain Dew.
I knew it had to be a Mountain Dew.
It looks like it.
Wouldn't they just, I mean, it's right there. It's like 64. Wouldn't you just call it like Mountain RC and Dr. RC
Bro, they got
and Orange
so
RC?
many things on here that I've never ever heard of them on this thing. It's crazy. They got an RC flavor collection. RC double caffeine. Holy shit. I might be sold.
Is it like
for
an energy drink?
For those who can't decide between a soft drink and a coffee, RC Cola double caffeine is exactly what a consumer's looking for an extra boost needs.
Go on.
If used with a double amount of caffeine while keeping the same great RC Cola flavor, this caffeinated beverage comes with maximum energy. Maximum energy.
Maximum
The
energy.
90s.
The attitude. This is the attitude era of sodas.
All right. I'm over this. I'm not buying any of this stuff.
Hey, are
what
y'all
you-
gonna get in on this Concord merch available on the PlayStation Gear store?
Get it before it's
Might as
gone.
well, right?
Limited time.
I saw my two
Going
sealed
to-
copies tumbled in value. They're completely worthless. Oh,
It's like most people's,
Coasters.
yeah.
just like most people's certain stock options in Bitcoin.
I just have to sit on it for 20 years when somebody's trying to complete their collection and they need a sealed copy.
your
of
Cash App-
Concord.
Did your Cash App let you know that Bitcoin's as high as it's ever been? I'm like, no, get out of here, Cash App. I don't need you
I
right
don't
now.
think I get notifications from them.
You randomly sent me one yesterday, like, hey, you should get on this. I said, I'm good. No, I'm not gonna fall for your pyramid scheme.
I'm assuming you did the one Bitcoin transaction I've had to do in my entire life, and now that's why they're
Yeah.
hounding you for it.
Yeah, they're like, hey, you sure gonna want to drop $100 every 2 weeks? I said, nah, I'm good.
Nope. No thanks, actually. Yep, I did the exact same
Yeah.
one.
I was like, yeah, we'll have $100 in there, and I come back 2 weeks later, it'd be $25.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Because in the midst of that transaction, I watched it fluctuate like $3 or $4 up and down. I'm like, I can't ride this ride. I'm not doing this. I assume that's why they waited a minute to take it out. They wanted to make sure it wasn't going to drop to like $20 or something. Sir, you have to deposit more. It's like, no, I just lost my ass. You're going to take out what I put in there. I don't care.
Seems like we're both losers in this transaction. Welcome to the club.
Join me. All right, you guys ready to rock? Now that we're hopped up on RC Cola and Moon Pie.
I want to rock, man. I don't know about moon pie. I
Do
guess
we
I
need a
some
moon
RC Cola
pie?
Zero if we can get any. Nah.
I mean, I can't eat one. The thought of it is compelling to me.
I've never even thought of a moon pie until you mentioned just.
Why don't you just chew on it and then spit it out, Richard?
Does it work that way? That I'm not like breaking it
I
down
don't
and
know.
digesting it?
No, as soon as it touches your mouth and gets in the saliva, and
Yeah.
it's
He's
in your
bulimic.
bloodstream.
Look at him. He chews his food up and spits it out. No, just the sweet
Wait,
stuff in the bread.
He's lost so much damn weight though. Like, I mean, that would just be.
It works.
No.
He has an Ozempic body.
No.
You do not recommend this
Oh.
diet trend.
Oh,
on the podcast.
Ozempic.
No, we don't need that. I don't need that damn commercial stuck in my head.
Oh, it made me sick as a dog. I was prescribed it for not weight loss, and it made me sick as a fucking dog.
Oh, did it mess you up?
Oh, yeah. Like 2 weeks. I probably told you about the trip to Vegas. I gave my license and boarding pass and all that to TSA, and then went right behind them with a Kroger bag and upchucked
Stuff happened.
right behind the TSA
Yeah.
agent. They were like, "Is he okay?"
I'm sure. Like, we see this all the time. Please keep moving.
It's okay. His face matched his ID before he vomited. We don't care about him now.
Don't worry. He has an app on his phone now. He can get bypass that when he goes to the
We're
airport.
gonna try that. We just recently did that at work. We all added our licenses to our phones.
I think that's like one of the only approved places to use it is the airport.
Yeah, because
so.
police, you can't do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's scanning.
Yeah, look, it's on my phone. Brent, can you do that with an Android? Can you upload your license to the phone as like a digital copy of the license? There's like 7 states that you can do it on iPhone, and we're one of them for some reason. But you can't do jack shit with it. It just sits there. But you have to
like
you have to like scan your face. And, you did this, right?
I have mine, yeah. Because I had to get it approved. Remember, you have to scan your shit and submit it, and they got to approve it. They're like, oh, it's him.
Were you worried like the whole Facebook fiasco? They would tell you it's not you?
I've always been told I'm not a real boy, so.
There's that.
I'm not sure. I'm sure there's possible. Maybe that's a feature added to either Samsung Wallet or Google Wallet or something, but I don't really use those very often.
Someone is unzipping the longest zipper. It's been going for like 30 seconds. Okay, Tetsuya Nomura, who is doing this, is like the world's longest zipper. It sucks. God, Grant, what the fuck's happening? Seal that thing or unseal it, whatever you're doing.
What the hell's
whatever
happening?
You're doing.
Now I'm just playing with it.
Yeah, okay. There you go.
Much better. Welcome to your
stuff we did when we were like kids. Find a zipper and just go to town on it.
Renee says the digital license worked at the Clayton County Recreation Center.
There we go. We did it, everybody. We figured it out. Brant signed up for one. You need it for the next time you go to the Clayton County Recreational Center.
I'm sure I will find myself there all of the time.
Yeah.
Was he at the...
Brant's over there like, damn it, if I would have had the app.
I need the recreation.
Was it at the Carl Rodenizer Recreation Center? Because I met both Carl and Rodenizer hanging out from underneath his shorts one time. He was like, you ever heard of this park? I was like, yeah, my friend goes there sometimes. I'm named after the park. Oh, that's awesome. I mean, the park is named after me. He's not named after the park. I was like, that's awesome, sir.
That'd be pretty interesting. It's like, whoa, is that how time works?
How old is this park? Because you're pretty fucking old. Oh, boy.
They named this park after me and my friend.
This is Carl. This is Rodenizer. Boys.
Oh. So I added everything from the Concord merch to my cart. We're doing this.
How much is everything? How much is the complete Concord fan kit?
I would spend more on Concord merch than I would on the actual game itself.
Well, hey, you got a refund from the game. So.
Yeah, you have some spare change.
Look, man, the only reason why I got a refund from that game is so a certain corporation can write it off as a tax exemption. So.
Mm-hmm. That's true, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly why they did it. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 324 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier video game and RC Cola ranking podcast. SR shakes his head, but we haven't even started yet. Just wait.
There's only one RC Cola in America, so.
SR, can't hear you chewing on that moon pie currently.
Oh, yeah. Are you happy now? Is that what you wanted to hear?
That's what the sound you make when you're eating a moon pie?
Barely.
So you haven't had either. You said, what are we, 10 to the RC Cola? And then you said you haven't had a moon pie in years. Were they simultaneous at the same time?
The RC Cola is like that thing where you're like, they were cheaper when Dixie existed in this state. Yes. So I would partake of RC Cola. Maybe I would have lingered over to the moon pies. I don't know if it was in that same aisle sometimes, or sometimes it was an aisle adjacent, but
moon pies are always in the checkout stand, aren't they?
I don't know. I never go around like, wow, I wonder what's happening in the moon pie world. Let me see if they got a sugar-free option. So I'm never looking around and saying, yeah, I've never in my life done that. So
apparently neither does RC Cola except for the Philippines, where it goes by RC Cola free.
Maybe we can import. So.
You think there's a moon pie free we can get a hold of? What would that taste like?
No way.
I don't know. It's already got kind of a plasticky, rubbery.
It sounds like something would have happened like gummy based accident.
Yeah. And it would end up like sugar-free oatmeal cookie accidents.
Oh gosh.
The aftermath.
No, screw you, man. Because I still remember when you put that other one out here, like, oh, I got more. I'm like,
let's go.
If once was enough, I'm not falling for it for a second time. No, we fell for it twice, right? Was it twice? The third time, I was like, nope. Shame on me.
First time we blamed it on whatever the food was. The second time was definitely like, oh fuck, it was definitely those cookies, man. We shouldn't eat those cookies.
And then we were playing some games. I think it was around Thanksgiving. You threw it out there or something like that. I'm like, and I was like, no, I'm not touching that. And there's no way I'm going for that again.
Not again.
Now you're immune to it. Now I still cannot. So
body can resist it. Have a natural resistance.
I'm looking at moon pie. There's many options for moon pie.
Are there any sugar-free moon pies?
There's a blueberry marshmallow sandwich version.
That sounds incredible.
Damn.
I typed in moon pie. I forgot to put on there sugar-free.
You see the banana one?
No. There's a homemade keto moon pie. It's the #1 on the menu site.
Snafu in the chat says, "Are you winning, son?" Snafu, what is your favorite flavor of moon pie? Original is an acceptable answer. I think banana is the clear #2. Brent, you said the chocolate one was the original. I thought it was like a vanilla one. I thought the chocolate was like the offshoot.
As far as I've ever known it, it's always been chocolate.
It's like is it like the Frosty? Most people think of the chocolate Frosty, but I think the vanilla one's way better.
Oh no! Shut your mouth!
How dare you? How dare you?
That is
I know
heresy.
it's such a controversial take, and I despise them because they always bastardize the vanilla one when they want to make some other like a. Here's a strawberry one. Here's a right now they got the pineapple Krabby Patty ones. Which one's getting bastardized? The vanilla one.
Pineapple.
That's the first one off the menu every time.
Yes, because they have to have the chocolate for you uncultured people.
I don't partake anyway, so it doesn't matter.
The vanilla frosty is awesome. The triple berry was good too. That was worth sacrificing the vanilla temporarily. My kids love the triple berry.
No, the best one is ice cream. Ice cream is the best one.
Snafu says I don't like those marshmallow treats. That is so specific.
It's like the whole line of moon pies.
Rank the marshmallow treats. Renee says he never likes chocolate. Never liked chocolate.
And don't worry, Renee. They got a pumpkin spice one in here for moon pies.
Oh God,
buddy.
Do you think there's a monster out there that like does the moon pies like an Oreo, like twists it and just eats the marshmallow out of it?
I'm looking on Instagram.
Is there a monster out there? It throws away the moon. Is that the moon or the pie?
Yeah.
Are they eating the moon if they eat the middle part? Snafu says they are pure oil now. That sounds disgusting.
Pure oil.
Yeah, I have no interest in.
Sounds accurate.
What?
Yeah.
Pure oil.
Pure oil.
That doesn't sound appetizing.
Maybe like a sugar water from Men in Black. Edgar.
She was in Holes. One of my kids read the book Holes in school, and then we watched the movie. Yeah. And I'm like, that's Edgar's wife.
Oh God.
Edgar, your skin's hanging off your bones. She was playing the same character. She was playing the same character in Holes. I was like, yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah. Like, man, that's Edgar's wife. She just has that like deadpan.
Sure, it's not a connected universe.
Could be. They were in the desert,
character,
like where Mikey was trying to get out of.
Yeah,
I mean, those came. Well, I guess Holes came out like 5 or 6 years after Men in Black. Oh, okay. News. We actually have some news in this episode. U.S. Copyright Office refuses preservation effort. That doesn't sound good. Lost Crown team disbanded. That also sounds not good. We all loved that game that came out this year. They're already done for.
Apparently somebody didn't.
Speaking of Ubisoft, Ubisoft exploring a remake of what? Question mark. Time to toss that Wii U. That might be Alone. You tossed it. Brant's going with the over-the-shoulder toss of his Wii U. Cesar, how are you tossing your Wii U?
I'm not. I guess this is the favorite part of the show where we discuss what Wii U games we got left to pour it over.
Does your Wii U hang low? Do you swing it to and fro? Eternal Nintendo Land Defender, Brant McKee. I haven't done podcast member introductions yet.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you, Brant. My copy of Nintendo Land, I'm looking at it right now, and it's still got the seal on there. I don't think it's ever been played. So
damn.
That's the first thing. His friend of the show, Russell, came over with me when I picked it up, and that was the first. That was the first thing we popped in before Mario because we knew we were gonna get soaked into Mario Deluxe or Mario. It was just called Mario U then, right?
Somehow got a copy of Tomb Raider Anniversary for PS2. I'm assuming you gave me that, Richard. So I don't know if I ever went out my way to buy that.
Did I just have multiple copies and you just ended up with one?
It had to be. There's no way I would bought that on my way. You would be more likely to be, oh, here's a copy.
Brant, come by on Halloween. I think I might have another copy of Tomb Raider Anniversary for PS2.
Don't worry, I got a copy of Silent Hill Shattered Memories from Renee here, so he'll be.
That's his favorite version. We don't even need a remake of the first one.
we talked about it the other day. He talked about how much he loved it, man. He said it was the best version of the first game ever.
The best one.
Best.
That's why I do still have you that.
I played it. It was all
some
right.
Wave Rally game on PS2. Like I bought 2 copies of a Jet Moto type thing or a Wave Race. Remember I went through the Wave Race kick and I found a bunch of clones.
Mm-hmm.
I think I still have one of those sitting around. Oh, the rest of the news. Sony closes Firewalk and new games added to Nintendo Switch Online Plus. I'm one of your hosts, Richard Bergman, joined tonight by Newsmaster Brant McKee. Brant with the late edit, putting the Firewalk studio closure in the news.
Hey, put in a couple of news bits that came out in like the last 8 hours. So
yeah.
Well done, Brant. I was over here taking the nap of the decade, and you were over here building news.
I wouldn't hate a nap. Nap sounds good.
Oh, I partaked. It was amazing. A struggle.
That other voice you hear, the voice of the nap taker, our resident page master and lore master, Cesar Concepcion II. Welcome, Cesar.
Hello. Everything hurts. I'm here.
Do you have your robot body yet? Are you coming to us live from your robot body?
I'm sure it'll be extremely painful when it happens, but I'll take it.
Renee gave us the flipped bird emoji and said, give me the real Silent Hill with about 7 I's and 7 L's and a bunch of exclamation points. He seems...
Don't worry, I got it right here. I got it right here for you, buddy.
Yeah, you just said Shattered Memories. I've got the Wii version if you'd rather play the Wii version instead of the PS2 one.
That's the one I got too. I might be able to find a PSP or PS2 copy around here somewhere, but I'll definitely get one your copy for you, Renee.
Did both of those come to PSP also? Remember when everything got like PSP, PS2, Wii
Shattered
ports?
Memories was on PSP.
I think
the PS2 one's the hardest one to find. It's the super expensive one.
I feel like I have.
Because I think it came out on PSP first, right? Then they ported it on PS2 when it was at the end of the PSP life cycle. Then they ported over to the Wii because it was super popular to put everything on Wii.
Yes.
So
that was actually their main focus was they wanted to put it on the Wii because the Wii was so big at the time. They thought they could utilize the motion controls really well, and they also wanted to do that whole psychological thing with the was it the therapist interviews, and they had like this whole elaborate
put the remote to
system.
your ear, listen to the conversations.
They had this whole elaborate system that, surprise, surprise, the Wii couldn't handle because it was 2 GameCubes duct taped together. Basically, didn't have the processing power.
We got away from doing that, right? We got away from seeing consoles are taped together. I miss those
2
days.
GameCubes stuck together.
Yeah. Like, how many PS5s are taped together for PS5 Pro? 1.5.
How many PS5? You mean like PS1s or PS4s?
I think the Wii was closer to overclock GameCube because it was still using that Power PC architecture, right? It was like the iMacs of the generation, like the iMac G4s and stuff.
I mean, it was so easy to, backwards compatibility because of that, right?
Yeah.
Built the controller in the top port and just read the disc.
Because the GameCube was a Gecko GPU, I think, and then it was Flipper for the Wii.
And they came out with the Switch, and that pretty much plays everything almost. So
the NVIDIA Shield box. So I have Shattered Memories for PSP and PS2. I do not have a copy of Origins on anything, which I found to be shocking. Also discovered today, because a conversation came up with my coworkers, that I don't have Legends of Wrestling on the Xbox. There are 3 versions of Legends of Wrestling, and I don't have any of the 3.
You didn't get it as your cannon fodder for your
no
trip.
I guess I'll show off when we do games acquired and games played. I guess that'll be my filler as the Xbox fodder that I found.
I look forward for Brand to talk about all the Sonic X Shadow Generations he played over the last week.
I saw it was already $40 on Woot, but the Switch version was. It's like, man, that's not not bad.
Quick, yeah.
Is it run like booty hole on Switch?
No, it runs
fine on Switch?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm waiting for...
I don't know what's going on, so...
This is going to sound bad, but I'm waiting for a Metaphor to get a price drop, because it seems like the Atlas games drop pretty quick.
They always do.
Yeah, so...
Anything Sega based. I'm still waiting on the last Yakuza, or like a Dragon game that came out in January, because I think it's always hovered around 29. I'm like, oh, 1999, almost there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost there.
20 is put it on the shelf. If I get to it, I get to it. If I haven't lost my ass, and it's probably not going to be worth much less than $20. It's not going to tank and be $5 because I'm not buying Madden day one, that sort of thing. Snafu says the revolution. Yes, the Wii was indeed the revolution. We never played games the same way again.
Yep.
We never played Nintendo games the same way again either.
Some people never did after that.
All right, let's get into some of this news. First, preservation efforts, something near and dear to our hearts. This comes from Chris Scullion at VideoGamesChronicle.com. U.S. Copyright Office refuses to allow remote access to out-of-print games. The Video Game History Foundation blames ESA lobbying and says it's, quote, not done fighting. The Software Preservation Network, supported by the Video Game History Foundation, had petitioned the U.S. Copyright Office for an exemption that would let libraries and archives provide remote digital access to video games so researchers could access them without having to visit their physical premises. So Frank Cifaldi gave an interview. What did we talk about this? Like 6 months ago or?
It's been a minute. Yeah.
A year ago?
Yeah. It's been a minute.
So he was saying what they're trying to get to do is is it free? Would there be a subscription? Whatever they were going to try to do, it was through the Video Game History Foundation, and you were going to be able to access remotely a library of games that are out of print. So instead of tracking down a CRT and a 3DO and a copy of, what's everybody's favorite 3DO game?
Need for Speed.
Oh,
Need for Speed's a good one.
Way of the Warrior. I have Way of the Warrior
solid.
Up here.
I'm going to go with Jurassic Park Interactive. So instead of either running this on an emulator or bootlegging it or something like that, you would connect to this and play it, right? Like you were sitting there. You would have what's that application called that they were dabbling with during COVID where they were getting people to do preview events? Is it like Warp Speed or Warp Tech or something like that? You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I can't remember the name.
Steam days or something like that.
Yeah.
They were...
You open up a connection.
Like a demo and stuff like that, yeah.
It's a remote connection where the person has access to the controller. So that's just kind of an overview of what they were trying to do with this. To make these games accessible remotely, libraries and archives would have to action on games, but current anti-circumvention rules in the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, DMCA, prevent this.
I mean, the one from 1995?
Is that one that old? Is that when they brought that about?
Believe so.
What was that for? CDs? Is that what they were after? Is like burning CDs?
Like burning CDs and games. That's what they used to stop people from copying those PlayStation games back in the day, or finding ways to circumvent it.
Oh, I figured out. Did I ever tell y'all
officially
why my ISP was after me for DMCA strike that I got hit with?
Yeah.
From Internet Archive, right? I had a Pink Floyd bootleg. It was a show that had been uploaded to Internet Archive.
It sounds like they would come for you for Pink Floyd.
For a bootleg? Bootlegs are traded.
Roger Waters.
It's that Pink Floyd, man. They want their monies even for a bootleg.
So I actually called them because I got another letter and I'm like, listen, what's happening? And part of it's my fault. And I figured out what it was after the fact. Whenever I fired up this certain computer, it reloaded that torrent. And even though I had downloaded it, it immediately made that connection. And you already know. Yep. Because now I'm just sharing it. Now I'm a seeder instead of a leecher. I was like,
I haven't used BitTorrent since I was in college, man.
So much faster. I like its speed. But they my ISP read it back to me. They were like, it's from RCA Music Productions, and it says Pink Floyd something. They read the file. They read the file name to me. And I was like, okay, I know it's doing that. I'm sorry. It won't happen again. Please don't throttle me or cancel me or anything. I know exactly what's happening here. All right, now that you've got
it now.
Yes, but I will not delete it from my said devices that I've made backups to. I will delete that torrent.
They're not going to send you a certificate of completion for your thievery. You can hang on your wall.
I wish it had what the content was, but what they sent me was just like, "Hey, we've noticed, we've gotten a DMCA from, what was it, RCA Music?
Just get a Sharpie, put it on the bottom of them, hang it on your wall. You always talk about putting that shit on your wall.
No, but I want it to look official. That was like a bootleg one. That was like a.
You see those commercials? Well, you can frame anything nowadays. Just send it over there, get it framed.
Get a canvas made of it.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Take a picture, put it at Waters on Twitter, and tell him to eat shit.
At Spectrum, at Roger Waters. As part of its ruling, the Copyright Office claimed that enough clarification hadn't been provided on whether a game must only be accessible to one user at a time, a single user limitation, or whether it must not be made available outside of the physical premises, a premises limitation. The petition argued that remote access to the games would be considered, quote, transformative and wouldn't, quote, not affect the potential market for or value of the copyrighted works, because only works that are no longer reasonably available in the commercial marketplace would be subject to the exemption.
Holy shit, what is happening?
Yeah, it's just explaining their access stuff.
Some legalese.
However, it was decided that both the single user...
Yeah, they're going in there like, let's do wordplay to the point where nobody knows what we're talking about anymore. Let's go on 3.
Oh, it makes sense.
No, it does, but
it
so convoluted.
It makes sense, but it shouldn't, because all of this stuff is being applied to a bunch of different media, right? But you can still, my example is always Casablanca. Like whatever new video format is going to come out, you can buy Casablanca for it, right? Every single one that's ever come out. And you can play it on whatever player you have.
Do you own Casablanca on Betamax?
I don't have a Betamax version. I have it on everything else, I think, except Betamax. Do I have the Laserdisc? I'll look later. I think I might have a Laserdisc. I love that movie.
Is it on UMD video?
I don't think so. I don't think it ever came to UMD. And I think it was one of the first HD DVDs, so I may not have that either. I think it was a Warner Brothers joint for while they were still holdouts.
Is it also on Game Boy Video? Is it near your collection of SpongeBob or Pokemon episodes?
Or Sonic X? We only got like cartoons. I don't think, or Shrek. Wasn't Shrek actually on there?
I think so.
The whole movie Shrek is on that Game Boy cartridge. I remember when we started getting those, I popped them in and looked at them like, this is certainly a thing.
It's like you're watching a movie on the NES, right?
Pretty much. What is the whole gist of this? That they... Yeah, because this is a bunch of legalese. We don't need to read through all this nonsense.
I guess the representative of who's on behalf of all of the gaming industry did make the argument that they want to make sure that it prevents making harm to the market.
How? They're going to lose millions and billions of revenue by letting researchers and
because
people access these through preservation efforts.
Yeah, I mean, if it would hurt the market for them if they decide to re-release these old games, which they.
It's like a former CEO. You sound like a former CEO that used to say something.
Who would play these old games?
There's a handful of companies that actually are doing really well and actually revisiting their legacy catalog. Surprisingly, Konami is one of those.
Yeah.
Hey, don't jinx it, man. We still got some time. Yeah.
They haven't fucked up yet.
Capcom is either reviving or reissuing, I guess, remastering some of their older stuff. The problem is
remaster.
The only problem there is they're adding that I want to say DMCA now because that's up there, but it's DRM. They're adding that DRM and everything.
Yeah. What was it, De Novo or something like that? I forgot what it was.
Yeah. De Novo.
Is that the big one?
Sounds like Devo from the 80s. That's why I always get confused with every time I talk about it. It's like, oh, the band's coming back?
Or because Jason DeNuvo.
They'll make the content available to you, but you better know it's not yours, and you cannot modify it in any way, shape, form.
You better stay online. Or at Bork's good versions of games like Halo Master Chief Collection will play swimmingly on a Windows PC, but not on a Linux Steam Deck, despite being a Steam game.
Richard, I always find it funny that I read some kind of cartoon somebody put on Twitter where they were talking about like, hey, I pirated this game, and then the panic you feel when a quick window pops up and closes immediately. You don't know what was installed in the background as you pirated the game. What
was that?
Yeah, what process is running out?
Don't worry about it. You didn't pay for it. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. We're not doing anything shady in the back end here.
That would scare the shit out of me. Some mystery window. You're like, what just ran? What was that? What did it need?
It's like a command line. Woo, woo.
Yeah.
It didn't show any words.
Was that some shaders getting popped in there? What happened? I need to see this comic now. I need this in my life.
Yeah, Richard's at Bungie. He's like, oh, I just pirated your software and something ran into the backgrounds of normal.
What was this?
as you panic and try to reach out to people.
Let's say you're running a downloader or an installer that is not Bungie signed. Is this something that normally happens?
What would I do in a situation like this?
What'd you guys do? Hopefully, I guess the gist of this whole thing is that I think it's a temporary setback.
Yeah.
Hopefully they find another way to define this to where it gets past. Yeah. I hate that the ESA lobbyists are out there because
it's trying to find like you said before, middle ground that appeases both parties, right? Is that what it is? It's like what they're stuck on right now. Like this kind of like where they went around like, hey, somebody could take advantage of this or somebody may have full control of this or yada yada.
Maybe the ESA will start running out of money without hosting E3 conferences. They get paid by the ESRB also, right? Don't they get funded for the ratings, like all the stickers that go in the games? Or is that a different board? That ESRB might be a whole different board outside the ESA.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck to Frank Cifaldi and that crew over there. Used to be Kelsey Lewin too, but I don't know where she landed.
I think she's still over there.
Not at a
involved in some way.
Yeah, not at a full-time basis. She was full-time over there. Next up, Ubisoft has reportedly disbanded the Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown team. It's claimed that low sales meant a sequel wasn't on the cards. In the cards.
In the cards.
Ubisoft has disbanded the team responsible for Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, according to a new report. Ubisoft has now responded to the report, essentially confirming it to be true. In a statement to Eurogamer, the game's senior producer said Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is now at the end of its post-launch roadmap with three free content updates and one DLC that released in September. We're now focused on making the game available to more players. It was recently launched on Steam and will be available on Mac by this winter. Most of the team members...
It was on sale on Steam too. It was like $20 when it came out.
Was it really?
Mm-hmm.
I think I missed
like the first weekend.
I missed the Steam announcement. Does it play on Steam Deck or does it need some kind of weird launcher for?
It does play. It does play on Steam Deck because I think it's. I don't know if it requires you play in there. Or, it might be when they started getting away with
getting away from you playing games, which is a win for us, for all gamers.
Thank God.
Most of the team members who worked on Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown have shifted to other projects that will benefit from their expertise. We know players have a love for this brand, and Ubisoft is excited to bring more Prince of Persia experiences in the future. The report says that some members of the development team pitched a sequel, which turned into a pitch for 2 DLC expansions instead. It also claims Ubisoft's justification for rejecting the sequel pitch was that the release of a sequel would cannibalize sales of the original game, which were already lower than expected. That's so stupid.
What? How's that? What?
I've never heard that before.
What?
Oh, that is so dumb.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Ubisoft is kind of getting in their own way there.
Nonstop. I saw, and I don't think it's in this, I might have retweeted it to you guys. I don't think it's in this article. But they were talking to a developer from, damn it, it was a successful studio. And he said the hard part is to make an 85 game, like a universally, critically acclaimed game. That's the hard part. The easy
the
part.
Guy from the Boulders.
Yes, Larian Studios. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. He said,
"Oh yeah, they're very vocal about that."
The easy part is marketing it and managing it, and Ubisoft is the one that failed at this. The team did the hard part, making the excellent game.
Yeah, but to be honest, when is Ubisoft haven't really marketed anything outside Skull and Bones, right? They marketed that for like the last 8 years.
Quadruple A.
If you when I think of Ubisoft, I think Skull and Bones, the copy that me and Richard bought. We're still waiting for Brant to join us, but so we can play that game before
we pay $10.
Take it offline. We did pay $10.
Come on, Brant. You should have jumped at 10. Pirate Simulator.
If there's one good bit of news to come out of this, it is the next portion where Ubisoft says it's exploring bringing back the Rain Man series.
Rain Man? We need a new Rain Man game.
Apparently there's some...
The movie with Dustin Hoffman? Is that what we're talking about? It's the only one I know of.
Wapner.
There's some Rayman project that's in the early stages. And it does involve Also confirmed that Rayman and Beyond Good and Evil creator Michael Encel.
It's Michelle, right? The French pronunciation is Michelle Ancel.
Michelle
Ancel.
Is he coming back? I thought he dipped out of game development because of his violent tendencies.
Well, he left the company in 2020, but he's apparently consulting on it.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. He does have violent tendencies. We talked about that on one of our shows, didn't we? He's not a good project lead, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's why he kind of was like told to retire early or something like that.
Trying to see, because there was... There it is. It's claimed that most of the Multiplier team, which developed Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, had been broken up after Ubisoft decided not to make a sequel. The majority of those developers have joined the Beyond Good and Evil 2 team, with about a dozen moving to the Project Over, which is the next mainline Ghost of Recon, and the similar number joining Project Steamboat, which is the Rayman title.
Steambot. I mean, at least Steambot, but I think there's like a Steambot Chronicles. That was an Atlas game, though. Why would they have a... Why are they calling this thing Steambot?
But, I mean, that's cool. At least they didn't... Seem like they didn't lay off that team.
Is it a steampunk Rayman game? Yes, that's how you're right. They reallocated them.
I don't know, because there's been talks of basically a revival of the either of the series or a remake of the original. I mean, because we're getting all these other PS1 remakes. We got all of the Tomb Raider collection. We got Legacy of Kain. Croc. For God's
Croc's
sakes.
back, baby. The original Rayman is an extremely beautiful and extremely difficult video game. It is not a walk in the park.
I remember playing that a lot, like in middle school or something like that.
It was a Game Boy Advance launch title, too, the Game Boy Advance port, which was a very good port.
Golly. And they point out at the bottom of this article, talking about how the fifth and the most recent entry was from 2013, was Rayman Legends, which it doesn't seem that long ago.
I bought one of those Rayman games on Vita. It was pretty good.
It was amazing.
I got Legend. I feel like I got Legends on just about everything it came out on, because it was originally a Wii U exclusive. You used the pad to like aim Rayman and Glowbot, and maybe that Steambot's after Glowbot. I forgot that character's name. That character's name is Glowbot, right? The big, like, bubbly thing that is Rayman's accomplice.
I don't know the Rayman.
I don't remember the name.
And the looms.
I think you are the leading. I think you are the leading expert on the Rayman.
They had Rayman 2: The Great Escape, which came out on PS.
The Rain Man of Rayman.
Yes, the Rain Man. A new Rain Man game.
Is Tom Cruise recording his role in that?
You're just counting cards in Vegas with your brother.
Ubisoft sucks.
totally got derailed by this Rain Man talk.
I mean, what's crazy is that copy probably would sell more than anything they made before. They're like, we're gonna make sequels of this.
Jeez. Rayman 2, Rayman 3. What was considered Rayman 4? Was that Origins? And then 5 was Rayman Legends?
And then they went off that weird Rabbids one, right?
Yeah, Rabbids became super popular.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of mobile ones, like there's a Rayman Run or something for Apple Arcade that uses that same UbiArt framework.
There was one on N-Gage, right?
What Rayman? Probably Rayman 2 was on N-Gage. Probably the early 3D style one. Please confirm there's a Rayman 4.
As we all pull out our copy of Tomb Raider from N-Gage.
I have it.
Rayman 3.
Okay. Was that one called Hoodlum Havoc?
It is Hoodlum Havoc.
And then there's a Rayman Arena for Xbox. I think Xbox and PS2, but that's it's like a multiplayer offshoot. I don't think it's really It's a Rayman like party game too, like Mario Party, like Sonic Shuffle. Maybe that's Rayman Arena that I'm thinking of. Rayman is awesome platformers, and it's great co-op. These last ones were phenomenal co-op. They scaled in really well. Remember how the camera would like zoom in when it needed to, and then like zoom out, and you'd see the whole level as you were going through it almost played like a Sonic game, right? Where you build up speed and go down ramps and over jumps and stuff. Yeah, it's time for Rayman to come back. Next in news, Nintendo announces Xenoblade Chronicles X remaster for Switch. Or is that Xenoblade Chronicles Cross?
Man, we do this every time, man. It's got to be X. Xenoblade Cross Chronicles.
Xenoblade Cross Chronicles. Nintendo has announced a remaster of Wii U title Xenoblade Chronicles Cross for Nintendo Switch. Xenoblade Cross Chronicles Definitive Edition will release for Switch on March 20th, 2025, featuring enhanced visuals, added story elements, and more, according to the platform holder. The biggest news here, not only is this complete, the Switch is now a dedicated Xenoblade box, right?
It is. It's what we always wanted.
And this was one of the titles stuck on the Wii U that everybody was clamoring for.
This is the one that's weird on that timeline that had nothing to do with those mainline story games. That was mostly like a MMO type feel with mechs as the big push.
But it's not the Mechon, right? Mechon.
No, I mean, Xenoblade, that trilogy is something to be studied, man. There's so much going on. I think how well they tied it together with all those three of those separate stories and how they came together at the end is interesting. So
could be a good thesis. It ran spectacularly on Wii U. People always point out like this is one of the best looking Wii U games. So it says enhanced visuals. I cannot wait to see what that looks like. This will be one I watch Digital Foundry breakdown on. Like what is the Switch version bringing to the table over the Wii U one?
I mean, it's cool. It's exciting because I mean, remember there was some patches and some story content or something like that you had to download from that store that's no longer available if you have a physical
that went
copy,
offline. So. You're right, Cesar. This is a big win for preservation.
If you needed it to
download
them beforehand.
Yep.
Yeah. They said the game runs better with them downloaded, right? I think that's what they were saying. So.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of comparison videos where they showed where they had it and didn't have it. Xenoblade Chronicles X. This was I did not see this coming out of. There was no direct or anything today, right? It just came out of the blue.
Yeah.
I'm reading the tweets on my watch. Like, is this fucking for real?
Yeah. I was excited when I saw it. I was like, hell yeah. I mean, what's crazy is like we're at this point now where Nintendo's at this weird spot where we know new hardware's coming out here, and I'm like they're just like slow dripping new releases out here. Like, oh, this is coming out in a couple weeks, and we're bringing out this thing called Alarmo for Richard, and then everybody else is getting Xenoblade Chronicles Cross. So
I told you I made a pitch for the Alarmo, right, and was rejected.
Yeah.
Okay,
denied.
Yeah.
Should invest in Bitcoin and whatever your winnings are. Use it to buy the Alarmo.
At this point, yeah,
$200 Alarmo, let's go.
How'd you know?
Everybody knows. Everybody knows. The next iteration of the Switch is on its way. They you're gonna announce it sometime next year, because I believe they even said that it's gonna be sometime within this. Before the end of the fiscal year, so I think they technically have until March.
Their fiscal year is March.
You heard people out there, man. It's the thing that has not been announced has been delayed multiple times. So
yeah, but until then, it's like their strategy. They've got like these smaller releases. I guess you could call them AA releases, like we just had Zelda, and then the brand new Mario Party and all that, but they've had a lot of remakes, and I think they're really going to push these remaster kind of things, more Paper Mario deals and like Xenoblade Chronicle X and
Zelda games.
The Zelda double pack, hopefully soon.
The Zelda double pack.
Oh, those are
it's
a
separate possibility.
SKUs.
Those have been rumored for what, 2 years now? It feels like 3.
What was it? Grub said they're done. They're just sitting.
Are we talking about Ocarina and Majora's Mask? Or are we talking about Twilight Princess and Wind Waker?
I think Twilight Princess.
Would they make that a dual pack, or would they sell those SKUs separately?
Yeah,
separate.
Yeah, those are $60
Definitely
a piece.
You over here trying to bring back the game collection thing from the GameCube? Get the fuck out of here!
I got that free with Nintendo Power. I didn't even pay for my copy.
I bought so many used copies from GameStop for super cheap.
Yeah,
so
they were inexpensive. I was telling somebody the other day because I guess it was a Reddit thread. Somebody found a bunch of games at a thrift store and they were like $5 a piece. Oh no, it was when we went to the Grid. I was looking at all the GameCube games, and they had the super expensive ones behind the counter. They had like Smash Brothers and Wind Waker and all this stuff. And I can remember in my store, nobody wanted GameCube games. We had bins of like $5 or $10 GameCube games. Wind Waker, I remember, was $9.99 for at least 2 years.
How dare you, sir?
The Mario parties, those always maintain value pretty well.
Yeah, they do.
But like Luigi's Mansion, $10. The Mario Baseball, I picked it up when it was like $19.99.
About the soccer one.
The Mario, was it the Mario Baseball team I sent you, Richard?
The Mario Baseball team. Like Mario Superstar Baseball?
Yeah, remember I sent you the team name from one of those games?
Yeah.
Involving
a certain Donkey Kong nephew.
His name and the survivors right afterward.
You didn't send that one to Cesar? Oh, Cesar is not a huge Instagram presence.
He's not a big Instagram guy.
I'm not a real person. Remember that? I'm like Pinocchio to him. I'm just not a real boy. I just got strings on me.
Cesar, Donkey Kong's nephew's baseball team was called Diddy's Survivors for some reason.
No, stop it. Stop.
Baseball team. I forgot about it.
For real.
It's legit.
No, I know I believe you, but no.
I will play that. I'll stream as Diddy Survivors. When is Xenoblade coming out? March of next year?
Yeah, March 2025.
March 2025. That's now a dedicated
there was something
Xenoblade.
There's something coming out like early that year too, right? That they were slowly just like feed dripping some of these games, right? I feel like there was something else.
Donkey Kong coming in?
That's in January, right? But they announced that in a direct, yeah. Because I think what the final game they made in that direct for this year is what the new Mario Brothers RPG.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually looks very good, man. It's that's a very different art style. I didn't realize how different it looks compared to the Game Boy Advance 2D one.
It does look good.
Cell shaded and everything.
It does look good. As the Switch fades into the
sunset.
Next generation, the sunset.
Overdrive.
Speaking of fading into the sunset.
Sunset Yellow Overdrive.
Ha!
That game didn't really grab me. I had fun with some of the mechanics, but it didn't like grab me like I thought it would.
It will one day when it's ported to other things.
The rail mechanics were fun.
So this one is from VGC. We're on the Firewalk story right here.
Correctamundo.
Right? So they broke down. I think was it Jason Schreier came out and said that they were sunsetting this game as well as unfortunately some 2 studios. And then they came out and originally did a post from, I think, what was it? Herman Hulst did a post on the blog where he said, hey, kind of explained the situation. Like, hey, we are going to close Firewalk Studios as well as Neon Koi, which was making a mobile game apparently. And they talked about like, hey, yeah, we went back, looked at this game. There's no way we could save it. They basically, the only way they could save it was to do as a tax write-off. So which is a very popular thing on these things that cost millions of dollars. So you can save money.
There's a good game there, though. There's a fun game there. I don't get it.
But I guess Jason Schreier said on some of his X posts or Twitter posts that I think they felt like it cost too much money to redo that game into free to play and then keep the servers up and running. That they would end up pouring more and more money into it for something that's not even a guarantee. Yeah. So that was like the only option it seemed like that they would have, right? That makes sense with it, unless they were to take these characters and make it to a single player game. But we already established that Brant was not a fan of these background stories for some of these characters.
And it's not just Brant. That was the general consensus, is that those characters
just kind of generic.
They didn't stand out in any way.
Yeah.
I like my rocket person. I did work with that rocket person.
The one that goes, ah!
yes, that rocket person.
Screams.
But I don't know I don't remember their name. Maybe that's telling.
Yeah. But this game's never gonna see the light of day again, basically. So, unfortunately, they said they were going to try to find homes for some of these developers in their other studios, but I think it was like 210 people got laid off. I think total between it's like 173 for Firewalk, and I was like almost about 40 something for Neon Koi. So,
what did Neon Koi work on? I don't remember that right offhand.
Nothing that's been officially announced. I think somebody had pulled up like a LinkedIn profile that were working on a mobile game. That's like it's part of their weird and their Sony's initiative to branch outside of the console space type thing. So, but that was it. That's pretty much kind of just gave you a short run of it. So I mean, Herman Hulse pretty much praised the game and said he felt like it done well and it stand out on its own. But we unfortunately you'll never see the light of this ever again. You'll have to watch our episode of Secret Level in December when it talks about Concord, and that's probably the last time you would probably.
They're still in that series, aren't they?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure after there's gonna be an afterword on that episode, right? Mm-hmm. Talk about the fallout, I would imagine. So that will be interesting to talk about. So.
Hey, those people can make a Killzone or a Resistance. There's so much.
I don't know, man.
So much desire for a new Resistance and Killzone.
I think Sony's so like a lot of these game companies are so tunnel vision on these console and like on these games now. We're like, oh, we need something that sells. It's like I do wish they would do like they did with Fantavision, which I always talk about, where they start. We're not gonna make another Killzone, so let's let's license it out and they make it for other things and we get a cut. Yeah. So I mean, and you see Sony's kind of doing that, right? Like they gave Freedom Wars to like Namco Bandai, and now it's coming on Switch and PS5, right? That's Sony owned IP, so
I'm okay with that too.
So, like we're not doing anything with Freedom Wars, the original developer wanted to port it over the other things, that's fine, let them do it, ain't like they're gonna do anything else with it, right? So
I saw a Guerrilla dev talking about Killzone, and they said we wanted to do something different. You must have read the same thing, Brant, because Horizon is a totally
they needed a palate cleanser, but they've been on Horizon for they did 3 Killzone games. Did they do
PSP one and the Vita one?
I was going to say, did they do Liberation?
Liberation was
Sony
Bend, right?
Yeah, that was because I was about to say I thought it was somebody different like Ben.
And they didn't do the Vita
but then I know
one, did they?
No, they did.
They did Mercenary.
It was
I played the shit out of that Killzone Mercenary beta. That beta was so
amazing.
Good. Is that campaign pretty solid?
They did this. It was Cambridge.
Cambridge.
Oh yeah, the long lost studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, give that to somebody. They were also talking about how scalable Horizon is, which I guess with 2 remasters and
the Horizon.
It's a success, right? It's the only game they had that sold almost 25 million copies. That's like the most successful thing Sony's ever did.
And they got the Lego one. The Lego one's coming to everything.
Yeah. They did the VR. They did the 2 original release, and then they've remastered, and now they have the Lego version, and which is spanning over even to the Switch. So
they said like kids and adults, like it's all demographics for Horizon games versus Killzone being a very specific. The Halo killer or the Call of Duty market that they got kind of forced
I'm with y'all, man. I mean, maybe not make a story mode for Killzone. Make a free to play shooter or something like that. Make your live service game out of that. It's a known IP.
Or SOCOM. SOCOM. No campaign, just maps. Just re-release the old ones.
Yeah, SOCOM, Resistance.
I mean, those are games that you could make, live service type games out there. That's might get people excited about those IPs again,
They release the old ones and put the servers on.
Richard, that's too much work, man. That's too easy money, man. Don't do it. We're all waiting for our next version of
Microsoft
2.0. Yeah.
I have every single one of these collections we're talking about on PS3. I could play them right now.
Yeah.
If they announce these for PS5, I would buy them right now. I would much rather play them on my current machine with my friends and my subscription and my new headset, right?
The only way we're going to get those now is if they ever perfect that PS3 backwards compatibility natively, right? That's the only way we're going to get those games, right? That's the first time we'll see Resistance and.
You think they're even still working on that?
They said they were. I mean, I think
they
they're
had
trying
an
to
internal
bolster,
team.
Yeah, I think they're trying to bolster their, catalog services for their subscription. That's an easy way, right? You look at what you own. So
and not use emulation like the cloud streaming.
I just think, yeah, I think it's the PS4 will be left out in the cold, but by this time it's it's probably time. I mean, it will probably be like PS5 can only play these native versions.
I recently saw it was a quarterly earnings or some kind of sales statement. The PS5 just now crossed the threshold of like the majority of online PSN players. Just now, it's like 51%. So of all the PS1 subscriptions and online players as of like a month ago, 51% of those were PS5 players, 49% were PS4 players. That's why we're still getting all that cross-gen stuff still. Yep. Yeah. They can't abandon those 120 million consoles or whatever they sold for PS4.
I mean, they're not utilizing games right now they're not making games utilize that, right? So I mean,
yeah. Well, it's not even that. It's the third parties too. I mean, you got Capcom, all the fighting collections and everything that are coming out. They're coming to Switch.
Yeah, but
PS4.
That's an old engine. They don't want to upgrade
that engine that can't. Yeah, you told us about that. But they recently worked it out with Microsoft to get it on Xbox stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's still on one. It's not even. I was hoping they work it out, get on like Series S or X. I'm like, finally we get a next gen version, but they only worked it out to get it kept on Xbox One. It's like,
oh, so you're downloading the one version on the Series X?
It's just the one version. Yeah. It's not even an upgrade to that engine they're using, so it's.
There's some weird stuff with I know the Lollipop Chainsaw remake came out, or remaster, whatever they were calling that, and it had some technical difficulties. I was reading today.
Oh boy, did it!
Yeah, I heard it was rough. John Linneman was talking about Shadows of the Damned. The PS5 one has wildly uncapped frame rate, like it bounces all over the place. But he said if you download the PS4 version on PS5, it's a lock 60 and it's perfect. I too have the PS3 copies of the Chainsaws.
Yeah,
of the
probably
Lollipops.
You don't have the
360 version, the more definitive version, apparently.
You don't have the really? PS3 Zero version.
Zero.
Yeah,
but we're still in that weird. I mean, I guess it's good to have options, but I feel like if I pop a disc in, I don't know. They kind of ended up doing the same thing, right? The smart delivery just turned into PS4 versus PS5 versions.
Yeah, I don't know, man. They'll update it. They'll fix it.
Yeah, and in some cases, the PS4 one's still better than the PS5 somehow.
My concern is will they fix it before my PS5 copies Shadow of the Dam comes in from limited run? So.
Yeah. John Linneman said you take a resolution hit and that's it. And that's the only thing I'm not sensitive to. I do not notice resolution. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I play so many old games too, but a good art style and a solid frame rate goes a long ways.
I mean, we're this part in the like games nowadays. I don't think you're gonna. I don't notice a resolution hit like it would be back in the past. So.
I don't either. All right, last in news. I'm trying to type in this episode title.
But certainly not least. We have
mature.
We have some games added to the Nintendo Switch Online Plus. Some N64 games, but not just any Nintendo 64 games. Some mature rated games.
My favorite kind.
They were all released by Acclaim back in the day.
These are Acclaim games.
Yeah. We have Shadow Man, and we also have Turok 2, Seeds of Evil.
Oh, is Turok on there?
Yes, Turok, the first one's already
okay.
on.
Right now, it's only Perfect Dark and Turok.
So this doubles the amount of mature.
The two
amount of games.
The two goats for mature gameplay.
But it was funny because Richard did bring up the fact. I don't remember if that was in the pre-end.
Yeah, it was pre-show.
I think it was before we started.
Pre-show.
I think it was before we started the call and everything. But yeah, they remade these games. Yeah. Actually, like last year, I believe.
I think it was I know Night Dive Studios did the Turok.
I was about to say Night Dive. I don't know that Night Dive did the Shadow Man remake.
I don't think so. I think that was that weird thing, like, Turk did well. Let's go do Shadow Man.
Let me see.
Because there's 2 Shadow Man games, right? I think both of them been remade. I think, or re-released. It's not remade.
Yeah, because the PS2 one and the N64 one were slightly different. No, Shadow Man's Night Dive also. They're both Night Dive joints.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't have picked that either. Oh, Brant,
I mean, yes, on their
source some content.
Drive engine, X engine.
Yeah, probably just ran that through. I've never played Shadow Man. Who's it by?
Valiant. Oh, nope. No, it is Night Dive.
Live correction.
Night Dive Studio, right on the back.
Thank you, Brant, doing the research. I wonder who Valiant is. It's not the publisher. It's supposed to be a good game. I've never played Shadow Man on either console. Now's my chance.
Yeah, I had somebody, probably friend of the show actually.
Oh.
Another gentleman I work around, and he was talking this game up at one point, talking about I believe it was
Richard, that answers your question. It's based on the Shadow Man comic book series published by Valiant Comics.
That's why.
So they're giving them props on the remaster cover.
I believe he was talking about the Dreamcast version, though.
Came out on Dreamcast? I thought it was N64 and PS1. Maybe it's Dreamcast instead of PS1 that I'm thinking of.
I know it was on PS1. I'm pretty sure.
All three of those then. Was there a Shadow Man 2?
So here's some crazy stuff. I'm stuck on Wikipedia. I apologize. So his first appearance was as Jack Bonyface as he started in a comic book called XO Man of War, which is also another video game base that was made by Acclaim.
Interesting. Wait, they created this character?
I mean, it's all from Valiant Comics, but I know of XO Man of War, which I think was a PlayStation game. Okay. I think.
So they pulled that character out of the comics, more of an obscure character.
I think it's just all from Valiant Entertainment because it's also Valiant Entertainment. So I just never played the XO Man of War game. I just remember seeing copies of it floating around.
So it actually released in 98 on 64, 99 for the for Windows, and then delayed to August 99 for a PlayStation and Dreamcast release.
So it was near
Dreamcast
launch title for Dreamcast.
Was in December.
Yeah, just right after launch.
Yeah, Dreamcast was December.
Interesting.
So so Valiant Comics is still around, but apparently Acclaim Entertainment.
Shadow Man 2. Shadow Man 2 Second Coming released for PlayStation 2, 2002.
It's a PS2
That's a lot
game.
of 2.
Yeah, it's a shit ton of 2s. Too many 2s. One might say. I've always heard good things about Shadow Man. I've never encountered that franchise for some reason. What convinced you to buy the limited run version, Brant? Just the other individual talking about it?
The other individual had talked about it, and I'd always been interested, and as soon as I saw this, I was like, well, he's talked it up so much. The ease of access.
Yeah.
I was like,
modern console.
and something like this, they run like $35 when limited run does it. I mean, you have to wait forever, but it's like, shoot, I'll go ahead and get it. Why not?
Support that
engine. I chose the Switch version just so it would be transportable.
Yep. The best of both worlds. Those are coming. Is there a release date on these? Maybe now?
I actually think they were released today as of the announcement.
Celebrating.
Or when was that? Yesterday? Today? Yesterday?
Yes, it's just in time for Halloween. Are playable as part of, it's already out as of yesterday, the 28th of October. Please, this next Switch hardware console, whatever it is, please don't make us update these apps separately. Please lump all this crap together. I don't mind putting in my pin to go into the mature section, like the beaded curtains at the
Disney Plus curtains.
Yeah, to get into the naughty section of the Nintendo Switch Online app. But man, I'm so tired of updating those things separately. Just give me one house for all of that stuff. But they have different features, like N64 doesn't have scan lines. Have y'all noticed that? You can't put scan lines on in that. There's no scan line filter in that emulator or whatever.
You haven't put it on the CRT yet? Show them who's boss.
I mean, I could play all of these on a CRT right now. I need to see if I have Shadow Man for 64. Watch this be one of those weird ones I have on everything. All right, is that it for news?
That's it for news.
Games played. I'm going to lead with some games acquired. That's going to be a lot easier for me to do because I've been doing a lot of travel and work. I've not had a whole lot of time for gameplay. I'm missing Warzone with my friends. I haven't had my Warzone fix in quite some time. In my travels, there is a dedicated... Cesar told me about this store many years ago, and I was able to stop 4 years ago, I think. 5 years ago? I think we were recording the show when I did that. But there's a dedicated... every
time you go to Virginia, you stop by, apparently.
Yes, which doesn't happen often. They're tied one and the same. Right outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, there's a dedicated Goodwill that's electronics. And it's not like every game's $2, every game's $4, that sort of stuff. They know what they have. Like, they actually had a bunch of import Sega Saturn games. They had they had a bunch of the fighting games. They had Snatcher for $40, the Japanese Sega Saturn version. They had a bunch of GameCube games. GameCube games are still ridiculously priced. But then, like, you go 2 aisles over, it's not just video games. There's, like, refurbished MacBooks. Like, they had older MacBooks. They have monitors. They have headsets. They have microphones. They had about 4 of the Ubisoft guitar, what is that, Rocksmith? Like, that adapter, that USB-C to guitar adapter. They had a bunch of those for $10. I recently got one, or I was like, damn, that's a pretty good deal right there. They have mice, keyboards, like, it's just a good, like, resale electronics store, and they don't charge. So some of the games, they know the values of those, but then some of the more common stuff, they're pretty easy with. Like, everything that I'm going to show you, I got better than eBay pricing, and they're buy two get one. So if it's under $20, you get buy two get one on all the games, which I always love a buy two get one. They had complete Nintendo systems for $90. They had Wii systems for $90, so it's weird to see the original NES and the Wii being sold side by side for the same price. I guess both retro consoles. They had, for some reason, I've never seen more than one together at a time. You know, the little Wii, as Cesar likes to call it, the red one that doesn't even do like S-video out and has no Wi-Fi and stuff. The pop-top red one. They had 3 of those for some reason. I'm like, why are these all right here together? PS3 systems were $100. They had a couple PS3 systems, which you don't know what those are like these days. That could be a grab bag. But it's just cool. Like, I was telling my wife, because she entertained me by stopping at this location. I was like, it's just cool seeing this stuff available. Like, this stuff is still out here. They had a bunch of guitars. They had the PS3 guitars for $200 a piece. Like the Guitar Hero guitars and Rock Band guitars, because they have the dongle. The dongle is the key part of that. So you can find guitars all day, but if you don't have that dongle,
and you remember, like, I don't know, I feel like it's probably a little bit farther than I think. It's probably closer to like maybe 10 years ago. You could stop into any like mom and pop game store, and they had an abundance of them.
Bins. And they couldn't get rid of them.
It was to the point. Yeah, they were like, you would hear people come in with. They're like, no, sorry, we can't take them. We have too many. We can't. We're no more.
Nobody's buying these. Everybody's bringing them in.
And now they've skyrocketed.
Now they're a couple $100 a piece, and it's the dongle. It's that dongle for the PS5 ones, or the PS3 one specifically. But so I'm close. People listen to the show, and you guys know I'm probably closer to a complete original Xbox collection than maybe Dreamcast. But so I'm really just picking up fodder. Like, my wife was looking over them. She was like, "Do you have most of these?" And I said, "I think I have all of these except for like these 7 or 8." And I just picked the ones I can pull up my sheet and see what I have and that sort of thing. So I got these all buy two get one, and they all have the book except for one of them, which is kind of aggravating because like there's stickers, so you can see like the grid on there, and they have stickers like sealing the case. So where you would go to open the case, there was a sticker over it. But I was looking in the top of it. I was popping that open and looking down in there, and I thought they all had the book. And then I get out of the car and one's missing, but it's not a big deal. I picked up a lot of soccer games because that worked with the buy two get one. I didn't spend but like $20. And that's FIFA Soccer 04. 2004. FIFA World Cup Germany 2006 and FIFA World Cup 2002, a highly successful prequel to the 2006 World Cup. But these are all in pretty solid condition. They test them. They said they have a commercial cleaning machine in there, and there's a couple discs where you can see like that white solution on the outside of the disc. And I think that's something one of us needs to invest in at some point for our collections, is for us to have a pretty nice commercial disc resurfacer.
Yeah,
because they'll take a busted up ass disc and it will play perfectly.
Make it like new.
Make it play perfectly. These are kind of the different ones. There's Classified, the Sentinel Crisis, which I always thought was a chess game when I would see it on the shelves, but it's like it's a GameStar software, which kind of synonymous with garbage, but it looks like a first-person shooter. It looks kind of crazy. Speed Kings by Acclaim, since we're on the Acclaim games kick. This is a port of a Dreamcast racing game, which I think was online, and this one is not. It's a Climax racer, so Climax was a developer that made a shit ton of racing games in this era. And then the last Madden, I kind of completed a mini collection. I now have all the Madden games that released on the original Xbox.
All the roster updates.
Yep, all the roster updates. And I kind of am embarrassed saying this out loud, but the Atlanta-based cover athlete is the last one I had to get. This has Michael Vick from the Atlanta Falcons on the cover. And I sold a shit ton of copies of these. I just didn't have this one. What's that?
I said of infamy.
Yes, Michael Vick of infamy. How would that have gone down in today's climate of culture and acceptance? I don't know.
It's still bad.
Yeah. He made it back. He made it back to the league, just not with us.
Yeah, the Eagles, right?
Yeah, he had a stint with the Eagles. He had a stint with the Steelers. And I wouldn't see Steelers fans just accepting him out of nowhere. I think he played in a couple other places. I did squeak in a little bit of time on Metaphor to kind of play a little bit more. Cesar and I talked about it last week. Brant, did you download this demo yet?
No, I have not.
Fucking good, man. It's so
Brant is in the anti-metaphor camp.
It's so stylish and just
not anti.
Even the menus, like I pull up the menus.
Brant, let me spread my false rumors, Brant. Let me spread my false rumors.
The false claims against Brant. Yeah, Brant, why are you anti-metaphor? Please tell us. I've heard you're anti-metaphor.
A pro metaphor. Can't tell you how many metaphors I use.
Apparently none. But even like the menus in this game are just gorgeous. Like you'll pull up the character menus to try to assign skill points or reassign equipment or whatever. And it's this flowing watercolor, like it's not a static image. It's just this like watercolor, beautiful picture of each character. And you flip through, you know how usually in an RPG you can flip through like L1 or R1 to change characters while you're still in the same like either item screen or character equipment screen, that sort of stuff. You do that and you can see these different builds of the character off to the side. If you use their skills outside of battle, that menu has like a drawing of their hand. So it's like a to scale drawing of their hand in the back of the menu that you can use. It's just odd. This thing is just oozing with style. I played a little bit further. Like I think I'm in the middle of the first big dungeon. We talked about it last week, and I think Cesar had gotten a little bit through this point. I'm at the fourth wall scroll that Cesar was talking about. Like there's a scroll where it mentions your name, where you named your save profile earlier in the game. So it's like they're doing the fourth wall breaking of, oh, this name says Richard. I wonder who that is and what their take on this tale is.
Yeah, it does that kind of like Persona thing where you make these contracts at certain points of the game, and like, oh, you can get different skills and choose one or two.
Yeah,
like you can go one route or go one route. This affects your party this way, you know.
And
so it's kind of like that. That it's that Persona thing where you would form contracts.
And that was the Velvet Room in Persona games, right? So if people have played the Persona games, so now you're going to they call it the Academia, and there's a guy in the Academia that the characters go into like a trance in the real world, and then they go into this Academia area, and the guy's working on filling out. The king has locked him in there, and he's working on filling out this information and studying magic and stuff. The Persona type things are called archetypes, and they have different attributes, and you can assign skills to them. They're super helpful in battle. These things I'm fighting in this first dungeon, I've had to use the archetypes a little bit more than normal. And now everybody has unlocked an archetype. They all have been touched by this like magic that the main character was the.
It's kind of bled over from him to
yeah,
them.
It did.
Type of
it
thing.
did.
His influence is kind of spread on the rest of the party.
Yes. Gallica, my companion, was like, it seems like it unlocked the magic in you guys as well, because the magic is usually only usable with the igniters, like a way to take the magic around you and turn it into a usable, consumable type thing. But the lore and the story and the music and combat, I'm still loving the combat. There's battles like just normal enemies. Instead of getting drawn into like a turn-based battle, you can hit them in real time on the main menu. So imagine like you're playing Final Fantasy VI, but you also have a Secret of Mana element, so you can fight them on the main screen before you get into the turn-based Final Fantasy VI battle. It's a great genre blending. Could you do that in Persona?
Yeah, because you can kind of skip battles if they're weaker than you. You can just do the action RPG part and not ever actually get into a turn-based battle.
Yep.
So
because this cave I'm in,
beat the shit out of
cave I'm in with like they're mines actually, with some like more difficult enemies. I see the little weak ones, and it tells you like weak when you scan them. You just hack and slash through them, and you get all the XP and everything from it.
You don't have to get into a turn-based battle. Yeah, at a point, if they're equal to you or stronger than you, you'll hit them a couple times, and then it'll force you to go into a battle, do the exclamation point, where you have to launch into a turn-based battle to finish fighting the enemy.
Cesar, I'm assuming you've done the mines part.
Yes.
I could either fight the weaker ones or like sneak around everybody, but there's these sandworms that go underground, and if you get anywhere near them,
sandworms
they pop up.
Sandworms are from the very beginning, man. They're overpowered.
They're so hard, and you can't avoid them.
Man. Yeah.
So Brant, they put a lot of emphasis on like first attack. So if you hit them on the main screen, then you get like the first attack, and they go in stunned, and you have a crazy advantage. But this sandworm is underground, and I'm like, where the hell is he? And as soon as I've thought that, it's busting up, and it's like you just see your character like stunned, and then you're going in a battle. I'm like, God damn it! And he's got the first attack, and my people are all like, they're all woozy and shit. I was like,
yeah,
oh great, thanks. Thanks, protagonist. You got us here.
Yeah, I'm like, even though he got the first attack, I should be fine, right? Like I put some skill points in the dodge, so maybe the attack will miss. It does like this fire thing, and everybody's on fire, and I'm like, God damn it, I fucked up one time, and now everybody's getting hosed. Yeah. It's fun though. It's not. I'm playing on their story is like the lowest tier, and then there's easy, I think. So it's like, can I play daddy and don't hurt me? Like it's like the Wolfenstein levels. So I'm not on the full story one, so they are like I'm having to use healing items and stuff.
You're not doing the bib and the pacifier.
No, not doing the bib and pacifier level and on Metaphor, but that game is freaking awesome, and I could just see it going on and on and on. It's they've got a lot of world building and character building going on in between those. But those are my games acquired and games played for the last week together.
I'll be brief. I think the only thing I've really tinkered with is I did some Helldivers 2 with a friend of the show, Russell, a couple times this week.
He's been craving it hard recently. And I saw I got an update when I logged into the portal today.
Mm-hmm. So I think there's a new Warbond out that came out today or something like that. So,
is that what the update is?
I believe so. So I mean, usually when they do new Warbond, there's new content on there. Yeah. So I'm playing that one. I didn't plan to play for too long yesterday, but we ended up playing for that one. Excuse me. Oh God. Brain dead. Yeah, because we didn't play Call of Duty this week, so I was waiting for Brant to try to entice me, like, "Hey, I'm playing Call of Duty." And they're like, "Oh, okay, I'll put together a team. I'll freaking Nick Fury it somehow." But I didn't see you on. I didn't see friend of the show Buish, and then I think friend of the show Renee didn't make it through anyway. So because that would have been their fourth, but
yeah,
I think they're still in duos. But outside of that, I did fire up Black Ops 6 and been playing the single player campaign on that one. It is a Xbox Play Anywhere title, so I've played it on my PC, and then I've jumped over with my save on the Xbox Series, and it plays pretty smoothly. So it is all part of the Game Pass. It launched everything day and date. I think you could upgrade and get the Vault Collection on for $30 extra, but that equated to me getting a season pass for multiplayer that I will probably never play. So
yeah.
But I am interested in all of us kind of playing zombies and see how that goes. But I am playing the story mode, which I'll go over a little bit. It takes place in the early 90s, right around Desert Storm.
I heard this campaign is amazing.
It's really, really good. So from what I played of it so far, so it's kind of a bit of story beats from the other previous games because you have Black Ops 1, which took place in Vietnam, to right around the Korean War, I believe. No, Korean War up to Vietnam, and then I think Black Ops 2 was in the 80s, right down to the late 80s, and then they went back and got Cold War, which was more the Russian side. So it takes story beats from all of them because I think 2 it finished like 89, 90. And then Cold War, they went back and flushed out some more stuff that happened in the late 70s after the Vietnam one. So like they pull characters from all those 3 campaigns and kind of continue the story and put it together in here for Black Ops 6.
What did you send us? Like the ones we need to play, but you also sent us a video. It's like story so far.
Yeah, 1, 2, and Cold War. You can just watch that video if you just didn't want to play those games. Because Cold War was okay. I think they added the character Adler, which they kind of like retroactively threw him into the second game because he did a pivotal moment where he's kind of considered a traitor, where he kind of do his redemption arc in this story right now. Because I mean, as you go through Iraq, you have to capture a character who's being transported from Pantheon, I believe. That it's this organization that kind of was created in Cold War, and Adler comes in there and he kills him. And he gets taken in by Langley over by the FBI, and I think Benjamin Bratt, the actor, he's like the guy that's running Langley. Yeah, the actor. And which is funny because it's gonna be, you know how that works. Like every Murder She Wrote, like every guest star Murder She Wrote was always a murderer. So I already know that Benjamin Bratt's probably the bad guy in this game. But that's gonna be my guess. I think it follows the Murder She Wrote.
Also
rule.
Featuring Benjamin Bratt. I gotta go.
I know who the killer is this week. And why so many people dying in a small town? This is a weird show.
What do you mean he's only? What do you mean he's only going to be in one episode?
A Joker killed somebody. But as you're going through,
never thought of that before.
As you're going through, you're trying to put together this team where you're trying to take on Pantheon and break out Adler out of Langley. So that's where it's kind of the story's at, and it plays well. It gives you a lot of options in the story where you can go through, and it's Richard's favorite part. You can do stealth. So you'll get levels like, hey, you want to go in the guns ablazing, go for it. If you just want to kind of just sneak around and look at ways to climb up the rafters and, bypass everybody altogether, go for it. And then they give you opportunities to get money and levels so you can upgrade your hideout, so you can get different options to build your weapons. So, I mean, it seems to be more fleshed out story-wise and gameplay-wise than Cold War was, which was my biggest complaint, because Cold War was the first kind of next-gen one they had on there, but it felt like it was so watered down. So put a couple of hours into it. I've had a lot of fun with it. I've jumped on multiplayer, got my ass handed to me, and I immediately not played multiplayer since. So that is not a thing for me to enjoy. I'll just continue to do the Warzone Battle Royale portion of that multiplayer
I'm craving
experience.
Some Warzone bad.
But outside of that, I think I forgot to tell you, you stepped away, Richard, but I didn't mention it until you came back. I did do some Helldivers with a friend of the show, Mills. And you could tell him I did this because it was funny, because I think me and Mills had broke off to do a mission. And we both died. And I sat there and I told Russell, I said, Russell, my bad, man. Team Mills failed you. He's like, whoa. He's like, don't put that on me. Team Sesser failed you. I was like, Team Mills failed you. He's like, whoa.
Hey, who was leading this expedition?
Instantly, he's like, no, don't put that on me.
That's awesome.
Oh, man. Outside of that, I've played a shit ton of Silent Hill 2. I have not. It's a race against to beat Renee. I have left my old save that I have not played. I mean, that I streamed. I got it on there. If
Your
I want
stream
to
was so good. I love that stream. My whole family was watching it.
Yeah, I still got the save on there, so I might pull through and go through it again, because now I'm about halfway through the game, which is surprisingly 10 hours. I've completed the apartments. After that, I've kind of lingered out, and you've met Maria, which seems to be like a twin of Mary, who you're looking for. And then you've also run into the girl Laura, who was the one that kicked the key out of your hand in that stream. And she makes references to like somehow knowing him. He doesn't know that girl. Where she's like, yeah, Mary never liked you anyways and stuff like that. And it's like, how did you know her name? And then you start going into this whole thing. Like I've told you guys 1,000 times on the show. It's the whole. This game is based off Jacob's Ladder. It's that whole Jacob's Ladder reference. Like I don't think he's actually in Silent Hill.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever watch Jacob's Ladder, it's like he's not actually the place he's at. He's just doing like a what if personal torment where you're experiencing these things in your life.
It's horrible.
That these characters are all pertaining to that thing because he's still going through trying to find his wife that died 3 years past. And I mean, that's how every time he explains it to somebody, nobody calls him crazy. And then he sees these things and like where people are tied up and typewriters and stuff like that. And it gives him like memories like, oh, I think I've experienced this before. Like he has these little like glimpses of like light bulbs. It's like, oh, this seems familiar or something like that. It gives you like, I think that's usually how you unlock the ending. So I'm on the path to get an ending on there. So now I follow Laura to the hospital, which is Renee's least favorite part. Renee said he's outside the hospital. I'm almost done with the hospital. I've got the key to the roof because I hate the nurses. They suck because this is the first time out of all of them, that the nurses actually have blunt objects to hit you with. So they are
they fight back,
walking around with pipes, and you have to dodge them differently. And they also do the thing they have in the movie. Like when you watch Jacob's Ladder, there's points in there where he has psychotic breaks and he sees like stuff like shaking their head like this. The nurses are the ones that are copied from that movie. It does the exact same thing. So like, they're just walking around like tormenting. So like I've already fought Pyramid Head. Pyramid Head was a boss in, even though that's not his name. That's not my name. It was a boss in the apartments where you had to dodge him for about 5 minutes because I knew not to waste any ammo.
You and I did that because he killed us a couple times in the apartments on PS2.
Yeah, I mean it's a survival thing. That's all it is. I'm getting ready to get to the boss on the hospital, and I will finally be caught up to Renee. Renee said he's on the other world in the place called South Bell. I think that's where I'm going to next. Because at the apartments, it's the first time he goes into the other world. It's like he follows Pyramid Head through the door, and he goes into the other world, which is that whole rust and pure darkness. That whole aesthetic kind of changes the whole environment because he gets transported there, I think, the first time in the apartments. And so now he's interacting with these other people in the world, like Eddie, Laura, and Maria. Maria just left me because I always felt safer with Maria there because I know nothing bad was going to happen, like crazy. And then she's like, oh, I don't feel well. I'm going to lay down over here. I was like, fuck. Now I'm going to go into these areas with like 45 of these things in one room. And that's exactly what happened. So
she just randomly gets tired.
Oh,
I think I'm going to lay down.
And lay down. Yeah, that's what she's going to. I was like, well, no. Like, you're coming with me. It's safer with me. So
she just falls asleep.
Yeah, sure. I was like, whatever. So like, you're on this quest to find Laura. I'm going through the roof, and now I should be done with the hospital soon. And I think this is the halfway point of the game because I think me and Renee were talking about it. There's some other places you go, like amusement park, and I think there's like maybe 3 or 4 more boss battles. So it's a pretty lengthy game. I think there's an achievement or a trophy that you can beat the game in 10 hours, and I'm like 10 hours. I'm not even halfway through it.
Oh, wow!
Because that game does so well, and that's the only thing that it does so well streaming it is that it captures tension so well. Like as I go through that game, my heart rate's always elevated.
Yes.
I'm always looking at my map. I'm always looking around. I'm always hearing something, and I'm always expecting something. And it's like a horror movie on like that's the one thing that I don't think Resident Evil has ever done to me. Like there's always moments, set pieces in Resident Evil where there's tension in that, but once you pass that set piece in Resident Evil, is over.
Yeah.
But it's like playing Silent Hill. It's like it's always
the dread just
when I play the game,
on you.
It's always tense. Yeah. Always. It's like I always feel like I'm always on the lookout for something. I always expect the unexpected. Like these nurses, I will drop them and kick them for 45 minutes in the face, and they will get back up after 5 minutes. And I'm like, no fucking way. You know what I mean? There's no fucking way. I beat the shit out of you. They're all bloody and everything. And they will pop back up and everything. So
Renee says nurses do a 4-hit combo like you're in New York. I said 4 pieces with fries.
Yeah. So. But yeah, I think this is the Silent Hill that I missed. This is the stuff they kind of went away with on these new ones where it doesn't have that tension. It was just like, I guess I don't know what they were doing with these new ones, but it's like, this is, I mean, I like Bloober Team, man. If they can make games like this, I'll be happy them making a new one in a new Silent Hill. Cause it's like, this game captures the second one perfectly. Like I literally, I thought about it the other day when I played it, going through the whole bit with the hospital, man. I was tense the whole fucking time. It's always crawling around stuff slowly, looking around, and slowly opening doors, and always pointing in everything. And pure darkness, the way the lights flicker.
Mannequins
at certain times, yeah. And there's stuff. The mannequins are always hiding in corners and super quiet. And it's like man, that game is something else, man. They were able to recreate something that was brilliant. I think it's a well done remake. It's definitely deserved.
I've heard the audio mix is amazing. Have you noted the audio is really good?
Yeah, I've turned it on headphones and I play with headphones, and it does very well because I think I hear weird shit all over the place. I hear people talking sometimes when I'm going down like hallways. Like some lady will just say gibberish, and I'm turning around, looking around, I don't see anything. It's like they will do stuff like that in there as you walk around. Nice. It's like, so it's very, very well done. I thoroughly enjoy my time with this game. All right, so I think that's it for me. I'll kick it over to Brant. Yeah, Silent Hill 2, man. Silent Hill 2, Black Ops 6 single player campaign, not multiplayer campaign, because all I was told, the nicest words I heard that whole night was die bitch. That was the nicest words. There was other words I uttered.
Die bitch was the nicest one.
No.
Die bitch was the nicest one. I'm gonna leave it at that. There's other words that were used on me.
Maybe I missed this. What are you playing Black Ops campaign on?
It's Xbox Play Anywhere, so I've been jumping back and forth from PC to Series X, and it transfers the save.
Oh, and the save just goes back and forth? That's amazing.
Yep, no issues. Yeah. It looks and runs really well. So I'm hoping that, we all kind of got Game Pass. I'm hoping one night we'll all fire up and play zombies with a friend of the show, Buish.
Cool.
Who ever will come back on here again. But
yeah, I heard this one is a solid Call of Duty through and through.
Yeah, I heard the zombies was pretty good too. I've yet to fire that one up also. So, but I think we could play it at some point, give it a whirl. But yeah, that's it for me. And then I was a part of Team Mills on Helldivers 2. So I give that back.
And he led you to death. He failed you.
And he failed us. Yeah, I don't care what he says. He may tell you differently, but I'll kick it over to Brent to finish this up.
Yeah. As far as games played, I did finish The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom.
Yeah.
Like Cesar said, that it's a pretty damn good game. I really didn't have too much more to do.
After last week.
Mm-hmm. And like Cesar said, you kind of have to give up some of your abilities like toward the end of the game, and you kind of join up with Link, and kind of reminded me of that a little bit of that battle from like Wind Waker, where there's Wind Waker and I guess to a lesser extent like Twilight Princess, but where you have like the final battle where it's Link and Zelda, but this is more Zelda focused, but it's neat because of all of like the little things, because during the final battle there were things like I didn't know at first I can do, and then I figured out as I continue fighting, like, oh, I can do this, and then Link comes over and helps me and responds this way, and there's
a partnership at the end of it.
It's just really it's really neat and clever the way they did everything. I know you want to pick this back up at some point, Richard, so I'm trying not to really go too much into detail there.
And to elaborate with what Brand said, I think it was neat that they didn't sit there and like, oh, let's show what Link was doing. We never saw the stuff. We didn't need it. We kind of got our bit with Link in that ending. So,
then after that, that's actually what I was doing Saturday night. I was like, man, I got to sit down. I got to play this and finish it up. And then
Silent Hill 2.
Did you buy Silent
Zelda,
Hill?
And then by
Brant,
the time,
do you have it?
No, I don't have it yet. But after that, I saw. Let's see, it was like I feel like it was almost 10 o'clock by that point, and I looked. I was like, man, I think I saw Cesar was on, but it just showed him like on the home screen or something. I'm like,
I might have fired up, like, there's bits and times where I was like, all right, I had too much and my heart's going to burst. So I fire up Crunchyroll or something like that and watch that episode and then jump right into Silent Hill. So
I was like, he's either not playing or he's just got this on in the background. I was like, I figure he might be chugging away at Black Ops or something. Mm-hmm. So I was like, let me pick up something because it's right here at the end of October and I have yet to play anything even remotely.
You didn't do your yearly Nightmare Before Christmas Xbox game playthrough?
No, I hadn't done anything.
I need that game on Xbox.
So it was sitting right here. I'm like, okay, well, this has freaking demons and monsters and shit in it. Let me pick up Devil May Cry.
Oh yeah.
So I started the HD collection, Devil May Cry.
Doom, doom. That's all I hear every time I start the first one. Doom, doom, doom.
I know.
The very beginning.
I played. Oh my gosh, till midnight, maybe.
Damn. You got its hooks in you.
And then I played a little bit Sunday. It's been years, several years. Holy crap, probably close to like
PS2 years or PS3 remaster years?
Crap. No, I mean I haven't touched this since PS2. So it's
you
probably
skipped the PS3 remaster?
I did.
Oh shit.
I know. It's probably golly close to 18 years.
I think I've dipped this whole series and played 10 minutes of it, got my ass kicked, and was like, maybe this is not for me.
But it's interesting to see the because I just remember playing this game the first time. You play as, of course, Dante, the titular character from Devil May Cry, and the one featured in what was that?
Featuring Dante from Devil May Cry.
Featuring Dante from Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry.
The Atlas.
Yeah,
the Atlas joint.
Shin Megami Tensei
3.
Yeah, Nocturne.
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
was it?
I was like, where's Brant going? Where is this? This got to be a bit. Where the hell's Brant going with this thing featuring Dante from Devil May Cry?
Featuring Dante.
Good job, Brant.
Who is the son of the legendary hero Sparta, who fought this legendary evil named Mundus, and now all these years later, this random woman. I should have streamed it because it is so like cheesy and over the top. Some of the cutscenes and
Stream
things.
it, Brant.
And
not too late.
This woman named
You're
this woman named Trish. This woman named Trish shows up, who oddly looks like your mother, and
Mine
says that Mundus is
this personal?
your
mother's
mine Cesar's.
Yeah,
we're bringing mothers into this. What's happening?
they're using that technology
she looks like the
Nintendo
mother
64.
Dante.
The 64 Game Boy
Dante's mother.
Yeah,
featuring Dante's mother from Devil May Cry.
I need clarity when you.
Oh my god,
mothers are coming into this.
So she takes you to this castle where Mundus is supposed to be resurrecting, and you have to fight all through the castle. Everything is like mission based, and there's some levels or missions that literally take no time at all. I don't know why they didn't shorten some of them up. There's about 23 missions in all. I'm at 22, which is like the fight with Mundus, and he's a son of a bitch.
This is the first one? You're playing the first game?
The first game.
Not the fan favorite second one?
No, I wanted to work my way up to the second game, because that second game, I do remember that one being like just freaking perfect. It's interesting though to see this.
I always heard the third one's perfect. I always heard the second one's booty hole.
The second one's booty hole.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, that's
too.
what
I heard the second. I thought I remember the second one being pretty decent.
I think it's
a prequel.
I don't
right?
know. Maybe I am thinking of the
I think
third
it's like
one.
NES.
Third one.
NES number 2.
Yeah,
style.
they changed up the whole way it played and everything. Yeah, it was like
Skip
not Devil
2, go
May
to
Cry.
3.
Yeah,
that kind of. But anyway, damn it, no, I can't remember.
I thought my bad, Brian. I thought you were gonna drop some lore on us. I was like, no, the second one's the best one. I was like, oh shit, I've been wrong all these years. And
Yeah, it's
That's
like
on
I've
the
never
floor.
heard this before. Everybody
No,
hates the second one.
No, but
yeah, you're talking about
It's-
getting Mundus and
yeah. I was just gonna say it's interesting because now that I'm going through it and seeing this, it's interesting that it's the first entry. It's obviously from Capcom. It's interesting to see like the elements that they brought over from like Resident Evil and things like that, because it definitely has like those fixed camera angles and you walk into the different perspective and the camera changes. And
I think Richard's mentioned that before, that this
that
was a
early
Resident Evil game. Yeah,
that early PS2 kind of deal.
I didn't get far
and
in this
even
one. It was so difficult.
even I don't know what it is, if it's just intuition or it's like or if maybe it's just deep in the recesses of my mind, because I'm like okay, well yeah, I think you go. Oh yeah, here's the thing. Oh, here's the key. And
it's like you're playing Symphony of the Night. You just somehow remember where to go.
Muscle memory for Brant.
I think I've got that memorized.
But you haven't played this in 20-something years?
I know.
Wow. Have you watched the playthrough in that time?
And for it being an HD remaster, it's one of those things where the gameplay looks actually decent and cleaned up. A lot of the cutscenes still look really blurry and sometimes pixelated. So it's like they did work on the main game, and then the cutscenes and things are like, just kind of up-res it a little bit and don't clean it up. Just don't worry about it. It'll be fine.
Kept the DVD quality and didn't go full HD.
Oh yeah,
like that happened a lot with those HD collections. It was kind of a hit and miss whether you got a full upscale on.
I mean, it seems to be better now, right?
Yeah.
It seems to be not perfect, but it seems to be better now. Let's put it that way.
But it's very action-based, Resident Evil-esque, because all of the, get this MacGuffin. Okay, now go backtrack over here. You can actually unlock this door, or you can do this over here, or put this weapon into the statue's hand, and now it unlocks a secret passage, and
Look, all I remember, because that was like Gemba Onimusha too, right? Onimusha did the same thing, right? You get
another Resident Evil 4 offshoot.
A lot of backtracking to different rooms when you get different things. It's like it's that same in there. I think Onimusha is the only one that I've beaten out of the Resident Evil offshoots. So.
So I'm almost.
You almost sounds like you're almost done, right?
Yeah, I'm almost done with that.
You gonna play the shitty second one, or are you gonna go straight to 3?
His favorite one. The second one's his favorite one.
Oh,
he thought he hated it so much that he took it out of his chronological order. He's like 1 and 3 is the only one that's on his disc.
I don't know. I might have to try too, but you're probably right. It might be booty hole.
I heard the game design on that was like crazy. Like the level design was crazy on too, but I think that was like the only thing I had going for it was like those vast levels on there. But it's like what Richard said. It played vastly different from the first one. That a lot of people did not like it. They went back to the original formula in 3.
What affected it?
Other than that, I haven't really played anything else. I know I had some Zipper.
Played some Zippers, yeah.
Zipper ASMR that Richard just loved. It was because I got this. I didn't show it to y'all. Because my purchase should be releasing the end of this week, so I don't know when I'll get it, but I preemptively went ahead and purchased a case.
Oh,
that's good.
For my PlayStation Portal. I like
that case.
This is the Power A protective case. It's actually a hard shell case. Nice. It's molded actually to the body of the portal, and it's even got like a flap that comes down and covers the screen with like some soft padding. It's got a cable bypass, so you can pull up this little tab and plug it in and just leave it in the case. That way it doesn't get dusty or anything. It's a nifty little case. I liked it. I was like, shoot, let me get that and make sure it's protected.
I'm excited for you to get your hands on this thing. It's a really neat piece of tech.
I mean, Brant was one of the biggest naysayers, so for the longest.
He's getting the super sexy.
I'm still a naysayer, but it's the 30th anniversary. The
nostalgia's calling to you hard.
Very.
That little bit of metaphor that I was telling you, I was able to play. I was able to play it because I had the portal and I just fired it up and connected to it, and was able to grind out a extra 30 minutes or whatever it was. It makes it so convenient.
That's what I'm thinking of, is just the convenience of it. I'm like,
have some other TV on in the background, or the kids are doing homework or something, and I'm still there, but I'm not like totally removed. It's awesome. I like that case too. Is that the new one?
Yeah. Yeah, that one just came out.
Yeah, then when they realized that they were actually going to sell those things, they actually made accessories
To
for
Brant,
them.
when Brant was going to buy one.
As soon as Brant was like, "Oh, Brant bought one. Time to make accessories."
But that's it for me.
Cool.
No more third-party ones that smell like matches.
That one Russell got, because Russell's a new Portal adopter as well. He got the same one. He borrowed mine for a long time, and I was like, man, this guy needs to get his own. He has it more than I do. He travels so much. And he ended up getting the same case he had gotten for mine for when he was carrying it around. So it does not look as nice as that one Brant. It's functional, but it does not look that nice. I like that logo and that white cover. That thing looks really sharp.
Yeah.
But it's neat.
I'll have to once I have my Portal in hand, I'll have to make a trip to see you.
Yeah, we just need one of those MiFis so we can connect to it. It was the
You gonna port
yeah, the firewall got us. Remember when I was trying to demo it to Brant when it first came out and show it to him, and it just totally bombed, and he's like, "See, that's what I've heard." It was
Doesn't
our
work.
firewall.
Doesn't
our
work.
Firewall just totally shit that thing out.
Hey man, that's why I can't say for certain without losing stuff, but that's why outside line, gigabit fiber, outside line. Into my place appointment.
We have access to 5G connections, so we'll make it work. I want to see Brant's the gray one, the original PS1 logo stuff.
You want to play Warzone together in the same room?
Sure.
Respect the PlayStation.
It's not bad. It's not a bad test case. I don't know if I'd play Warzone over it, but it's not bad for some metaphor, some turn-based RPG.
Go ahead, man. Get some duos in there.
That would be something.
Get some.
Might donate my PlayStation, my Portal, everything after a Dubs win via Portal. That would be something else, man.
Put in your Hall of Fame records with your Stadia PUBG.
That's it. I retired the whole platform, everything. I would text those people. I'd just be like, I just beat y'all via remote play. Total trash.
Donate your internet
donate
connection.
your ISP. All right. That's it for us. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week, and we will catch you next week. Bye.
See ya.
Adios.